Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video, and this is going to be my final thoughts on Resident Evil Village with spoilers. So yeah, if you've not played this game and you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to skip this video because we'll be talking about pretty much all the bosses, all the parts and areas of the game. So yeah, spoilers galore in this video. But yeah, I really wanted to make this. Obviously, being a Resident Evil fan, I've been looking forward to playing this game for ages, and now that I finally have, I can't help but feeling just a little bit disappointed. So yeah, like I was pretty positive, I think, in my pickup video saying I was really enjoying the game. It kind of went downhill for me, but yeah, let's get to this, shall we? So you start off just like walking around, pretty much just getting used to the game, the controls and things. It's a slow burn kind of thing. It's not too slow, but it's like building up the tension. You think something's gonna happen, so yeah, that's kind of cool. I do got like that kind of thing, like a slow build up. um, so yeah, but once you like first get into like the village, obviously there's these werewolves. So yeah, Resident Evil kind of went like a different way. You've got like werewolf or lycans, I think they're actually called, but they're werewolves pretty much. So yeah, you're fighting like a bunch of lycans. I don't know. For me, first time I saw one, it was a little bit creepy, but there's so many in the game, you just get used to them. They don't really like, vary too much, the lycans. So you come to like this hut, and you pretty much have to like basically defend yourself in this hut, and like you can like barricade the door and things, and cool stuff like that. I might actually put that down. Um, so yeah, you have to barricade the doors and things to like defend yourself. The lycans are trying to get in the hut. Pretty cool stuff. I really like that part of the game. It kind of reminded me of Resident Evil 5. When you first arrive to like the main area and you have to like defend yourself a certain amount of time before the big guy comes out with the axe, and then like the area like opens up more. It's kind of like that in this game, like the same kind of thing. Like a big guy comes out, destroys the gate, so you can like get through and like be in like a more open area, so you've got more room to like maneuver and stuff. So yeah, cool part of the game. I did like that. You meet some characters along the way, like in the village. Nobody really interesting. Like everybody dies, pretty much. So you don't really get attached to any of these characters. They're all just very like bland, to be honest. So yeah, this like game splits off after that. Splits off into like four areas. The first area you go to is the castle, Castle Dimitrescu, where you meet Big Lady Dimitrescu, I guess. um, yeah, some people say Lady Dimitrescu, some say Dimitrescu. I think it's Dimitrescu, but I'm just going to say Lady D for just to shorten it. So yeah, Big Lady D comes out, her 9 foot of woman glory. Um, for all the hype that she got, I feel like she's very like bland, like very forgettable. Like as a villain, like she's just got a certain look about her, I guess. But apart from that, she's just very bland. There's not like a massive amount of dialogue. You're really just there to be stalked by Lady D and her daughters. So yeah, it's kind of like a. This is where it kind of gets like a more like a vampire kind of thing. So yeah, there's a lot like that kind of like set in this game, vampires and like witches and lycans, that kind of theme. Which I don't know. For me, it didn't feel like Resident Evil as much for me. Like Resident Evil 7 didn't feel like too much like Resident Evil either, but I did really like the Baker family. I thought they were really really entertaining, especially with Jack. Jack Baker was just an amazing like villain. Very entertaining quotes. That's the thing about this game. I just can't remember really any memorable quotes. Maybe one, but I'll get to that later on. But yeah, you're going around this castle. For me, this is probably like my favorite part of the game. Like you're just going around the castle, you're getting stalked by, with mostly like the daughters. Lady D just come out like near the end of the castle segment, but it's mostly just the daughters that kind of like come out of nowhere. To be honest, for me, they were really easy to like just escape from, just turn around and run, and I don't know, they seemed to like disappear. It wasn't too like tense. Whereas like Jack Baker and like Resident Evil 7, he was relentless. He'd bloody follow you all over the place. He was running very very determined to catch you with all these fantastic quotes. Ethan, it's just really funny. Um, Funny but creepy at the same time. Just it's really hard to avoid him. So you basically take down all the sisters, the daughters, sorry, one at a time, basically. There's just kind of like puzzle elements. The first one's kind of like done for you, like the window ends up getting shot, and basically that like affects the daughter, and then you can take her out because she's affected by the light. Obviously, being a vampire. The other two, you have to like figure out how to get light into the area, which they're pretty easy to like figure out. So you take care of them. You get like a mask for like each one you take out, which actually stumped me at one point because I had 3 masks and I needed 4, and I was like, where the hell is this 4th mask? I was looking around for ages, like I was wondering where the hell it was, and I must have killed one of the sisters. I keep calling them sisters, daughters. I must have killed one of the daughters, and I forgot to pick up the mask for some reason. I've no idea how I managed to do that, but yeah, that happened. But yeah, the daughters are quite easy to take out. Like I say, get light in the room, just blast them with your weapons. They go down quite easily. And then you get the stalking segment for a little while with Lady D. And you have a boss fight with her where she turns into like some kind of like dragon. Man, pretty cool fight. Not like challenge or anything. I didn't die to this boss fight. It was pretty easy. Like just really just took a lot of damage, and that was it. Just a lot of bullets, bit of bullet sponge. Just not like too challenging. But yeah, the castle segment, I liked it. I thought it was pretty damn good. I liked, especially when you like in like the underground area, like the catacomb kind of areas, like blood in the water. That was kind of creepy because the enemies would come behind you and stuff, and it was kind of hard to maneuver because there's like obstacles and things in the way, like shelves and things. So it felt quite, claustrophobic. So I liked that part. Probably, yeah, I think it is actually my favourite part of the game. The castle. I thought it was really good. Very promising start. I just really wish Lady D and the daughters were more persistent in chasing you. I just didn't feel that tense. I thought the catacombs were creepier with the vampires down there. I thought that was creepier to me than the actual like main like, enemies in the area. And for the second area, we go to, is it, yes, the dollhouse or the haunted house. This is where it kind of like a more witchcrafty kind of area. You go there and you get your weapons taken off you, so you're completely defenseless, which I don't like in games because it puts me on edge. But there wasn't too much to fear for the majority of this area. This is where this is like the Donna like area. I don't know if is it Donna Buenavento or something? She's like a doll maker, kind of creepy, I guess. Yeah, creepy area. There was like a puzzle segment that went on for way too long. You had to like dismantle this doll to like figure out this like the passwords and things. It was just a little bit slow and tedious. It just seemed to last a little bit too long for me. Yeah, you get through that, you get the code, you go through, and oh my god, the scariest part of the game for me, that demonic like baby monster that chases you around, the demonic fetus. Oh my god, that thing was so bloody terrifying because the room's really dark. You're in a really tight corridor. It's really dark. You just hear noises like a baby like crying in the background, and like a baby like calling out for its dad and stuff, and you just see this demonic like baby coming towards you. Oh my god, very very scary. Obviously, you turn around and you run, and you hear it like following you and stuff. And oh my god, easily the scariest part. That thing freaks me the hell out. Yeah, it's like a party to like hide under the bed, and he's seen the baby like going round the bed. Oh my god, it was so tense. My heart was actually racing. There's not really many things that really get me too like scared in games, but that thing was demonic. Like, that freaked me the hell out. So you run all the way back. You have to escape through the elevator, and you're like pressing the button on the elevator, and the elevator's taking like an eternity, and then you can hear the thing coming behind you. You turn around and it's slowly coming towards you, and you're like desperate for the elevator. I was actually panicking. I was actually just smashing buttons trying to get the elevator to come quicker, but really it's just like a last minute kind of thing. I actually died here because I got stuck on the wall because I was like panicking. So yeah, that was a creepy part. Like I really liked that part. I would kind of like more of that because it didn't last very long. But yeah, I really liked that. That was like my favourite part of the game for me. And then after that, you have to like play hide and seek with a doll. Yeah, that wasn't really my cup of tea. You just have to like find the doll and like 3 or 4 times, like stab it, and that's basically the end of it. You kill the doll master, basically, or the doll maker. So yeah, I liked that part for the majority. I didn't like the puzzle. I thought the hide and seek thing was a bit meh. But the part where you're like stalked by the demonic like fetus, that was creepy, very very creepy. So yeah, plus for that, that's where the game I thought was getting pretty damn good. You get to the rare, which is the swamp. Who, what I can't actually remember. It's kind of like a hunchback kind of guy, like deformed, monster, Mordecai or something like that. I can't really remember. But yeah, you can like go through swamps, and then like turns into like a giant fish. Yeah, for me this wasn't. It was okay. It just wasn't that great. Just like maneuvering the swamps, opening like raising and lowering like bridges so you could get across. Some of which were like timed. You have to like press the like switches in a certain order to like raise the bridges in a certain order because the bridges don't stay up like all the time. Like some of them are like time based. Nothing like too difficult to solve. It was just a bit boring. And then you fight the giant fish at the end, which was okay. It was just a bit of a bullet sponge. I did die once because it launches like acid rain kind of stuff, and I didn't get to cover in time, and I got absolutely rinsed. So you have to like get to cover underneath this like little roof thing. So yeah, it was okay. It wasn't amazing. And the next area was like the wolf den or the lichen like den. This was just too action packed. This is where like the games like threw everything out the window. Like this, like for like I thought this was like a survival horror game. It's more just like an action game. Like to be honest, because you've got like so many like so much bullets. You've got so much money to like buy ammo. So you're never short on ammo. You're never short on health. And the lichen den, it was just combat. I was just running through it, just trying to get through it as quickly as possible because I was just getting a little bit bored, just fighting the same kind of like enemies over and over again, lichens. There's some obviously that came at you. There's some with like fiery arrows. That's like their own like modification to the enemies. You get through that and you have to fight this big giant guy, who again is a bit of a bullet sponge, not like too difficult. He had a cool look to him, I'll give him that. I guess he's kind of like the king of the lichens or something. I don't know. Yeah, he wasn't too difficult, to be honest. So yeah, you get through that, and then you get to the factory, and this is where you fight. This is the section for what's his name? Heisenberg. Yeah, Heisenberg. Yeah, I hated this part. I actually hated this part. This part just drove me absolutely insane. The factory was just very like boring. It was kind of confusing. I kept getting lost, but that wasn't really like the part that frustrated me. I don't really mind getting lost as long as as long as the environments and that are they feel different. It just felt all the same. This factory, it was just very very boring. And then you get like robotic like zombies, and I'm just not into it. Robotic zombies, like I guess it was trying something different. I just thought it was kind of rubbish. I don't know whether they're trying to go for like the Iron Maiden guys from Resident Evil 4 because they were kind of, I don't know, they're more like gladiator kind of guys with like big claws. They weren't really robots per se, but I don't know what they were going for here. But you had to like shoot them in the chest, or there was like an area on their back, like a weak point. So that was kind of what reminded me of the Iron Maidens because they always had like the weak point on their back, the parasite. Yeah, I didn't like that. I just thought this factory was so boring. And you get through the factory. Oh, actually, before that, you have to fight this like propeller dude that like charges towards you with his propeller going. He was okay. Like you fight him in quite a enclosed space, and he like proper charges at you with his like propeller blade, and does quite a lot of damage. And he ends up like having like a flamethrower and like, propelling like the fire at you. So an enclosed space gets even more enclosed with fire, and you shoot him in the back. That's his weak point. To be honest, that fight wasn't too bad. That was an okay fight. It had a bit of strategy involved. It was kind of cool. I don't know, I just thought the propeller thing was just a bit weird, but yeah, you get through this, you fight Heisenberg. For me, before we get to the boss fight, I thought Heisenberg was a pretty cool guy. Like, I liked his dialogue. Like the monster in down below, he's like shouting at it, "Shut your hole," or whatever. That was probably like the most memorable quote. Just like, or that was like obviously the clean version. "Shut your, hole." Yeah, Heisenberg was cool. I just thought he was a cool dude. I'd like to see more Heisenberg. I just thought he was pretty damn cool. But yeah, the fight with him, it was a mech battle. Like, you meet Chris Redfield and he just happens to have this like giant mech thing for you. I mean, go on, Chris. Ready, you're talented building this like mech thing, but what the hell? That was just so bloody random. You get on a mech with like a Gatling gun and like a cannon, and you can like block with like your saw thing. And yeah, you fight Heisenberg when he's in a mech. That was just weird. Like, what is this for the Armored Core? Like, really weird. Like, I did not like this fight. I just thought it was just quite dull. I just think a mech fight just doesn't suit Resident Evil. Like, it was just weird. So I didn't like it. Heisenberg, a cool looking guy, has the potential to be like a really, really cool villain, but it's kind of like wasted for me. So yeah, and after that, you have to play as Chris Redfield because it's kind of like teased that Ethan dies. He gets his heart like torn out by Mother Miranda, which I thought was really weird. And then there's kind of like I don't know, it's like a thing where Ethan's like dead all along. He like basically died, like Jack Baker killed him or something. So he's been dead all this time or something. That's why he gets his heart ripped out, but he ends up still living. Proper weird. Is that Ethan's character arc? I think Ethan's like one of the most boring Resident Evil characters, so I just don't buy it. So you end up playing as Chris for a little while, which I'm like, yes, Chris Redfield, here we go. And then you play Call of Duty, I guess. you're Chris with like a machine gun with like 300, 400 bullets, and you just like mowing down like a bunch of Lycans. It's Call of Duty with Lycans, It's Call of Village, basically. Like, you feel under no threat because you just got like so much like ammo, and I'll say you just like mowing down like tons and tons of Lycans. You go into like buildings, like dark buildings, and you like put on your night vision goggles, like Call of Duty kind of thing. Oh, I don't know. This just bored me. Wasn't happy playing as Chris, even though I like Chris. This part was just really boring and really like action heavy. So yeah, you get through that. You just have to like mow down Lycan. You have to like use your like homing device kind of thing to like destroy like Mother Miranda's like mold, like tentacle things that are blocking the way. Well, just defend yourself against a load of Lycans. So yeah, not too difficult. Just quite like repetitive for me. You fight a boss fight, which is quite dull as well for me. It's not that great. You have to really just like defend yourself while the targeting system like reloads, so you can like target them and get your teammates to launch missiles at them. So yeah, not amazing. And yeah, you play as Ethan again, and you have your final like battle with Mother Miranda, which, to be honest, it was okay. Like, the final boss was alright. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay. Yeah, just like a bullet sponge. Her attacks are more difficult to avoid. But you have like so many healing items and so much ammo that she's not really a threat. Obviously, it's probably more difficult in like hardcore difficulty and things, but just playing it on normal, it's not really that challenging, to be honest. So yeah, I beat Resident Evil Village after that. So I think my final time was like 7 hours 40 minutes. Even like I'm sure it felt like about 9 hours. So I don't know whether it just doesn't count like times and menus and times like during cutscenes. Because I'm sure it was longer than 7 hours 40 minutes. I'm definitely sure of it. So yeah, that is it. That's really my opinions. So yeah, what I've really got to say about Resident Evil Village is I feel like it's okay. Like, it's got moments that I really enjoyed, like the castle. and like the dollhouse kind of area was okay for them, like the most part. The swamp was alright. Just like the factory setting, like it's the same in Resident Evil 7. Like it starts off really good, but it's just got points where it's just a little bit dull. Because like Resident Evil 7, you had the ship, which I really thought was a boring area, and this you've got the factory. So yeah, like for me, this is like one of the first times, probably for a while. This is a Resident Evil game I don't fancy playing for again anytime soon. For me, I'm obviously a big Resident Evil fan, so usually I play through the game, then I play through on harder difficulties and try and get more collectibles and things. But yeah, for me, I just don't have any urge to go back to it. I think I'm just gonna sell it on. Maybe get it back in a few years, maybe try it again, maybe my opinions will change. But yeah, for me, I'm just not that into this. I think I'm probably gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It might seem a little bit harsh, but I've got to give it that for like the overall experience. And I just feel like as the game goes on, I just start to lose what I was enjoying about the game. So yeah, that's probably it for me. They're looking at they're gonna have a third like Resident Evil game based on like the characters in this. I think they're gonna go with like Ethan's daughter. Which I don't know, like hopefully she's more entertaining than Ethan, because Ethan's just boring. Ethan dies again. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Ethan dies again. He kind of like sacrifices himself at the end. So yeah, it's really the end of Ethan. Unless he comes back as a monster or something, because I don't know, it seems that Ethan's got like obviously special powers, and those powers have been passed on to his daughter. So I don't know whether you'll probably play as the daughter in the next game with like powers, or whether maybe she'll turn into a villain or something. I'm not really sure. I don't know what will happen with Mia as well. It'll be quite interesting. But yeah, Resident Evil Village, I'm gonna call it. I just don't think it's that great. Like I don't know. Like what is it better than? I think it's better than Resident Evil Zero, because that game frustrated me. Better than Resident Evil Revelations 2, because I wasn't really into that game. But yeah, that's probably it. Like I prefer obviously Resident Evil like 4, 5, 6, 7. As far as like the more like action like Resident Evil games go, I prefer those ones. And obviously Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, they're all better for me. Yeah, this just didn't do much for me in the end. I'm just a little bit disappointed, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It just didn't feel enough like Resident Evil. Like I just would rather have brought back zombies. Like no bloody werewolves and vampires and witches and fish and just bring back zombies like and tyrants and like I don't know, like a tyrant that stalks you. Or bring back the mutated baby. The mutated baby was creepy. Bring that back. But make it mutated and make it even more creepier. But anyway, guys, that's it. I'm going to just ramble on forever. So I'm going to call it here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys respect my opinion. I know there's probably someone out there that's going to hate me, call me not a true Resident Evil fan and stuff. But I like almost every Resident Evil game, so it can't be that bad. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you all later.